voices, the 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 voices.
Hi guys.
I don't know if we'll ever defeat that.
Hello.
Hey there.
How you doing?
Good. Sorry for the delay. I was chatting with my mom because we live in different countries, so it's Saturday night.
Takes a little bit of coordination for that. How many different time zones between you and your mom?
Just one.
Oh, okay.
Just 1 hour difference. So it's doable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
Well, we have the craziness of daylight savings tonight. So spring forward, I guess we lose an hour of sleep. Is that what it is?
Yeah, you're going forward. See,
But
it doesn't matter to me. I'm in Arizona.
That's right. You don't have it there.
Does not observe daylight saving time. So
Yep.
hey, you suckers can deal with that all you want.
I thought it was last week. I was wondering why none of my clocks changed.
I don't.
Took me a couple hours to figure it out.
I don't even keep track of that. I just let the phone get the update automatically. And
Yeah.
like, okay. I slept less. What's new?
Yeah, that's true.
I always think about that. An hour of sleep. People get screwed up by an hour of sleep. How many nights do I watch the next episode of what I'm streaming, or you get into something online and all of a sudden you're an hour, 2 hours late getting to bed. I mean, I miss an hour of sleep all the time.
Oh, look at you. But I blame those circadian rhythms though. Even if I want to sleep, and it's one of the things I enjoyed since I moved back to Arizona from LA, is that my body just clicks on when it's ready to go. And when it's time to go, it's time to go. So it used to be about 5:15, and it doesn't matter what I did, I could have gone to bed at 4:30 a.m. and it's 5:15. Body says, "All right, up and at 'em, let's do it." So I can see that really screwing people though, with that. But it's one of the reasons why I moved back to Arizona.
I'm glad that works for you, Sean, because man, I remember when we were playing out, and you get done at 2 a.m. on like a Wednesday night. You have a full day of work the next day, but your adrenaline's pumping from being on stage, and it takes me a couple then there's load out and getting home and unloading everything and
acts of strength.
and then waiting for that adrenaline to finally leave the body. And then around 6 o'clock, I go to sleep for an hour and get up for work.
Yeah. Well, I remember I had a friend who he would stay up and play video games all night. All night. You had to get up to work, to go to work in the morning at 6 or 7, whatever time it was. And his rationale for that was, well, that's morning me's problem, right? If I'm going to suffer, if I'm going to steal time from something and be a sluggish mess and not enjoy it, it's going to be work. Because what I want to do is play video games or whatever my leisure activity is. I'm going to be awake and alert and enjoy it as much as I want. And then the suffering me will deal with that at the place I don't want to be. So that was his rationale for it. I get it.
Yeah.
I hope he's not.
I never
operator.
understood how Rich could do that. He could play videos all night long, and then he was still a human being in the morning.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like, even when I wake up, but I'm not saying I'm firing on all cylinders. I'm awake. My body woke up, doesn't want to go back to sleep, but I'm not processing properly.
Well, I think Adrian has an intro that he likes to do to kick this thing, off.
I was just waiting for the moment to jump in and say, "Hey, let's get this started."
Just say, "Hey guys, shut up and let's do the thing."
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hola.
See if I can do it without stuttering. All right. Thank you for joining us and welcome to Let's Discuss It. Today we
Take
Today
two.
will be
I should have just let you guys keep on talking. Thank you for joining us and welcome to Let's Discuss It. Today we will be discussing the human voice. I'm your host, Adrian Lugo. Joining me as usual is my co-host, Mr. Michael Tucci, as well as Mr. Sean Crisden and Sanna. Good afternoon. How is everybody?
Doing great.
Doing good. Doing good. I
Chilling?
think.
Did I pronounce everybody's name correctly?
Yes.
All right. It's actually not afternoon for you, Sanna. You're
No. It's
you're in,
it's about 10 o'clock at night.
okay, and you're in Paris?
No, I'm in let's say little area. It's like north of France. Cannot get more north than that. After that, it's Belgium.
Ah, okay.
Are you in France or north of France?
It's the same. It's one country, but north of France. It's like one country, but we describe it as north of France. Paris is like towards north of France. It's not in the middle. Paris actually is a very, very small city in comparison to the entire country. But if you compare France to USA, it's smaller than Texas. So
Yeah.
so we're talking about
Isn't everything smaller than Texas?
yeah.
No, Alaska isn't.
Nah.
Reminds me of the Texas joke.
Texas.
Yeah. So there's this guy and he has this uncle who lives down in Texas and he's like an oil billionaire. And so he finally gets the time to get down to Texas and go visit this guy. And they're going through his mansion. Takes the whole day for him to because the thing's so big. And every single thing is a superlative. They go into the dining room. This is the largest dining room table in the state of Texas. They go in the next room. This is the largest chandelier in the United States. And they go in the next room, and everything is the biggest. This, that, and the other thing. 6 hours in, this guy has to go to the bathroom. So he asks where the bathroom is, and the guy says down the hall, last door on the left. And so he walks down there and he goes in and he slips on this wet tile and he falls in this enormous pool. And out in the hallway, you hear, "Don't flush it."
Of course.
Normally we start with a little background on everybody, but we'll start a new segment telling jokes. Sanna, would you like to go first? Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Oh, a little bit. Okay, I'll try. Well, I'm originally from Greece. I moved about 8 years ago. Yes, 8 years ago to France. I run 2 businesses now, 2 tattoo shops. And on the side, I try to sing. I don't know how else to describe it better than that. Yeah, it's more of a.
We didn't even think about it before. We actually, one of the first ones of these we did was on tattoos.
Oh.
didn't even I can't believe I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
To have you in.
Well, I would like to do another discussion on tattoos, and one of the tattoo artists that I used to go to is in China now.
Oh.
And when I moved to Puerto Rico in 2014, he moved to China, him and his wife and their daughter. And he's still there. He has a tattoo shop and everything.
Nice.
At least last I heard from him, he was still in China. But I know he opened up a shop with a partner there.
Yeah.
And so I would really like to do another discussion on tattooing and actually branch out, maybe with France
Well,
and
it would be
China.
interesting, yeah, to talk about, the different what the tattoos in different cultures,
Oh, yes,
um,
absolutely.
and things like that. Because like in China, for some reason, I mean, we always think of Japan with the Yakuza, with tattooing, but for some reason, I don't associate tattoos with Chinese at all.
No. And even in Japan, actually, tattoos are supposed to be illegal.
Yeah.
So you're not allowed to public places or public pools, or even in restaurants. They can like refuse you access if you have visible tattoos. And it's weird because like Japan has an enormous history on tattoos and tradition. So it's really, really weird to see, and to know that.
The tattoos or this tentacle porn, huh?
I think Tommy actually touched on that a little bit. The tattoos in Japan, not the tentacle porn. Tommy is the current tattoo artist.
Wait, Sean, did you have to do an audible book on that?
I wouldn't be surprised if I did, or if I will in the very near future.
Oh, well, so we got off track. Sean?
Oh, yeah, hi. I'm a full-time pro voice talent. Commercials, video games, do a lot of audiobooks and long-form narration. Been at it for 11 years, I guess. Won 6 awards. Feel pretty good about it. Yeah. So,
Wow, I
yeah, that's me.
didn't realize we were in the presence of greatness, although I should have realized that since I know you from so long ago.
That's true. That's true. I wouldn't quite call it greatness. It's more sort of falling forward and stumbling upward, I think. That's usually what happens.
I was actually skimming around your Instagram the other day, Sean, and there was
all 4 or 5 posts I've done.
Yeah. Just trying to like figure out like a little bit about you. And the one video you were I don't know if you're reading something or just reciting something, but just listening to your voice as you were doing it, it's like, wow, this is really cool, because your voice, it was
my profits over people rant. I think was one I posted there.
probably.
Sometimes I get an idea and then I can't shut up. But I'm social media averse, so most people say, "Hey, we don't see you post much." I said, "Yeah, I just don't." Yeah, but
yeah, I'm a voice actor. I don't do pictures.
Yeah, it's a face for. I mean, I've been in movies though. That's the thing. I started out as in film and on camera commercials. And the biggest film I was in was The Last Airbender, and the film that we shouldn't talk about, especially if you've seen the animation, because the actual animated series is fantastic for its target audience, especially. But I'm not a big social media guy, so I don't post often on anything. And people were very excited when I started Instagram a year ago or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember. But I'm the kind of guy where I remember being in school as a kid in grade school, and I was the one that would get excited when they say, "Hey, who wants to read from Dick and Jane?" or whatever the simple kids book was. And, "Oh, I do, me," and I loved to read, and I love to read out loud. So I guess I found a way to eventually turn that into money when when I realized I wasn't going to be a full-time professional musician. So I kind of fell into my career that way because I'm lazy. So, I had all this gear. I had vocal training, and I understood how to use my voice as an instrument. And I had some acting training and playing on the idea of creativity fueling me, and I had to do something lest I wither and die. The path of least resistance was, hey, well, I have all this recording gear. I have some acting chops. I hear about this voiceover thing, so maybe I should try that. And that was 11 years ago. And that was that.
I didn't realize there was so much. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun stuff. I mean, I I diminished the the work where I didn't take a vacation for 3 years and I worked every day and I had a full-time job for the first 6 months and was basically working 18 hours a day. But you know, you make those sacrifices to. Was it Ali that said, "I'll train as hard as I can now and deal with the pain so that I can live the rest of my life as a champion"? Well, I'm not a champion, but I'm pretty happy with where I am right now. So
That's cool.
great.
I was
Well, I have to say that that the only class in high school I got thrown out of was Shakespeare, because I cannot read. I can't read out loud. I never read out loud well. I'm just very. If I practice hard, then I can make it flow.
Mhm.
But if you give me if you give me some lines and I'm just reading them off the cuff, I'm absolutely dreadful at it.
That it's funny because I have students that I teach just for voiceover, and I tell them that one of the most important skills you can have, there's a whole lot of them, but one of the ones that I constantly come back to is the idea of the cold read. So in voiceover, I like it. Again, I go back to I'm lazy. I don't have to memorize anything. You know, on camera work, you always got to memorize the script, and you're looking at the blocking, and what's going on? And they want you to put on pants. I don't know what the deal is with that. So in voiceover, largely you're just being presented scripts all the time, and you're literally reading right from the script. And one of a very critical skill is the idea of the cold read, where you can have something plopped right in front of you, and you can read it not only as if you wrote it, but that you believe it and you embody whatever it is, especially for ad copy, character acting, that sort of thing. So that you wouldn't do well, Mike. Not there anyway. You'd have to put some work into it. You missed that. You dodged a bullet by skipping out on that.
As you can see from our opening, I am extremely good at reading things. Sanna, your Facebook, I was skimming around your Facebook and there was a couple videos of you singing. I think I just clicked on the 3 of them and you seem to actually be, your voice was different in all 3 of them, which was really cool.
Well,
I'm not sure which ones they were. I was just like skimming the other night real quick. I was like, wait, I got to see who these people are.
True. Well, my relationship with singing is a little bit, I don't know. I would say not normal. I found that at a really young age that I enjoy singing. It's very soothing, and it kind of works as a type of therapy for me. Because as a child, I was not active or playing games out on the street with other children, or I would just mainly be alone and play by myself or make up characters or just sing around, but and dance around all of myself. So that was my thing as a kid, and growing up and getting to know these different styles of music, and seeing the MTV and all those music videos, I got this, damn, that's what I want to do. That's my thing. I want to sing and share it with people, hopefully doing it right, And at the age of when I finished high school, I think for you guys it's college, I don't know, 18. I don't know. I found a band and I knew absolutely nothing. I had zero background, no training whatsoever. I was like, yeah, let's rock and roll, let's do this, let's play heavy metal, which was not a right way to start things, in my opinion. So it was hard because I had to suddenly find myself in a room with a bunch of people playing loud and not really knowing how to use my own voice or a microphone or carry my own tune. And it's, and also when you're with other children as well, because at the age of 19, honestly, who can teach you or help you? So it's a slow process. And it took me quite some time to figure out, like, okay, I need to find somebody to help me understand what's happening here. So I started taking some singing lessons. Then life happened, so I had to stop. And so I didn't took it further. I don't know if Michael knows that I did a couple of albums and a couple of tours and a few shows, but other than that, it didn't go more like professionally speaking, like Sean, for example. Then I moved to France and I found another group, which was awesome. I got to explore more sides of my voice more. We did an album that was awesome, but then I had to stop again because suddenly I found myself with running two businesses. So that was like, okay, yeah, like, whoa, okay, no time for that. So
That was some good stuff too. I have that album.
I'm really
and
proud of that, actually. Like
it's still in my car.
yeah, it's my little diamond. I like to say, yeah, I gave it all. Like, yes, I'm gonna do this.
So what was it? Can you plug it? What was it? What was the name of it?
Oracles?
Yeah, Oracles. These are just one album, so just write Oracles and you'll find it. It's
Sean, you'll like it.
It's a side project from Aborted. It's a death metal band. I don't know if you guys heard of them. It's quite big in Europe and in USA, actually. So after that, I stopped, and artistically speaking, I felt quite frustrated because I wasn't doing anything for a long time. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start back at it again, like very timidly. I don't know if it works, like shy, yeah, because I, in my nature is like that. I don't like to, like put it out there. I'm very like low, discreet, and shared only with my people. And yeah, I'm very shy, very sensitive about that stuff. And I am trying to experiment with different styles as well, because I've been doing pretty much one style my entire life, and I'm exploring different tones and different performances, style of performances, and even volume, because I used to sing always in a metal band, so I had to like really be loud and gotta impose myself, like, yeah, here I am. Well, whereas now I'm also trying to play around with R&B and blues and more soft music, and that's why you see different videos and
gives you an opportunity to really work your voice dynamically.
Yeah. And also understand, like, I still feel to this day that I haven't really tapped in at all to what I can really do. Like, even though I listen to so many things and I practice, and I know that my scale is large, like I know the notes are there, but my problem is, okay, how do I get those notes out?
Yeah.
I know most singers I know that they struggle with their range. Oh, I don't have this note, or I don't have this. And I'm like, no, you know what? You're built with a certain amount of notes. I mean, you cannot hit all of them. It's impossible. Yeah. So I know the notes are there. It's just, how do I get them out the best way I can? And I'm still like struggling almost all the time.
Being good at anything takes work.
Yeah, I hear it's suffering. Isn't it
Regardless of
suffering that brings out
Sean
the
saying
best?
that he was lazy,
Yeah.
18-hour days doesn't sound lazy to me.
Well, much like it's all relative though, because much like Sanna was saying, I know my capacity for what I'm capable of, right? So if I were to reach even near the apex of that capacity, the sky's the limit. But life intervenes, and our brains are a great limiting factor, where your brain will say, well, we have to do this, or and again, the crushing specter of doubt, right, riding you, guiding the as much as you try to suppress the ego, telling you, maybe you're not good. Imposter syndrome. You think that I'm not as good as they say I am, or what was it? Was it Bruce Lee who said, if I said I was really, really good at what I do, you'd think I was bragging. But if I said I'm no good, you'd know I was lying. It's the idea of where do we fall on a spectrum as any creative talent of what you believe you're capable of, what you are in reality capable of, that actual capacity for what you can achieve and what you can do, and then where we self-limit to what we can do, because our brain comes into play, and the ego and the id and the external factors of the people around us and those constant comparisons. That's one of the reasons why I always say I'm social media averse, because I find that social media, in many cases, not all of them, tends to be the hashtag best life. Yeah, bro, look at me. And it's people basically displaying, dude, look at how awesome I am. And look at this great thing I did. And we see it basically come to an extreme in the form of influencers.
But I did do a great thing.
Yeah, it was great. Look at the food I ate. Ah! And hey, I've taken pictures of food. I like apple pie. I like barbecue. But we see that extreme of people who they fabricate a life, and they fabricate experiences, and they fabricate perspective and personality and persona, and then portray it as, this is what it's like, this is me, this is real, this is how everything goes, and there's something inherently damaging about that, in my opinion. And I'm not saying that it shouldn't exist. Of course it should. It takes all types, but I find that there are people who cannot make the distinction between reality and that fabricated fantasy, and believe that that's what they should be. So we see it played out in their physical appearance, or what they believe their lifestyle should be, or all of these things where people just basically want to play pretend with their life, because
they can't post anything without a Snapchat filter.
Precisely. Everything's filtered. They have these filtered lives, which I could go on an entire rant on filters and things.
I do online dating, and
I'm so
the
sorry,
number
brother.
of people, what it's come to,
But I can't
number
imagine
of people who every picture is a Snapchat filter. I'm like, yeah, no, you can't even show who you really are.
But that's the problem, right? Because people believe that they need to present this fictional, fabricated version of themselves because they're not good enough, right? The same reason why we're so obsessed with, back to not that social media isn't evil, but the reason that people get so obsessed with scrolling and looking at things, they're looking for that new dopamine fix, right? For what they need, that attention, that pay attention to me, like me. And I'm an introvert. Really, I'm an ambivert, and I'm in the wrong line of business. I shouldn't be a creative entertainer because I like being alone in my crypt. And but I have to perform quite often, and be with people. And, my opinions on the humans, and it's challenging for me, and I try not to let that cloud my my interaction with the world. I mean, it's necessary. Humans, we're social creatures. I just don't need to see you making duck lips with a filtered face and your body contours all lined up into this fake body of you. Just genuine authenticity, and the idea of people being genuine and real is something that's being lost in the current iteration of life 3.0.
I so relate to that. While being in the industry for those few years, trying to produce 4 albums that I did, I could not stop hearing, oh, it has to be absolute perfect and pitch perfect, and it has to, which I agree. When you fucking record an album, sorry for the curse, when you
That's
record an album, it has to be correct. But though, for me personally, as a performer, as a singer, as an artist, whatever you want to call it, when I sing, I feel. And I want to make you feel the same way I feel. I'm not interested. My place here is not to present myself as a perfect human being, because I'm not a perfect human. It doesn't exist. So when I started back like a few months ago to make those little videos back at my place with my iPhone, it's literally me in a dark room in front of my iPhone, no filter whatsoever. I'm not editing the videos. There's tons of mistakes. Nothing is pitch perfect, because this thing that everybody's doing on YouTube with the perfect covers and the auto-tune and the filtering and the perfect mix, which is great, it's their deal. But I'm having a hard time connecting though with that, even though technically speaking, those people are masters on what they're doing. They're handling their voice perfectly, no doubt about it. But I'm having a hard time connecting to them, because the relationship that I have with singing is that I want to convey a connection, a message, and hopefully I can connect with people.
The voices, 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 the voices.